So, after receiving like 8 grants and a couple of artist fellowships and traveling to San Diego to study with Mamadi Keita, who's really the man that I've learned the most from with regard to djembe, but I've also studied with local teachers around DC, and I just got to a point where I could really teach drumming in a way that was really understandable to people, in terms of explaining how to do the technique and explaining how to create the rhythm patterns and bringing like a joy and exuberance and like focusing on why that's important, and how the drum is a healing instrument as well as a musical one and a powerful one as well. So after learning all that and doing all my studying and everything, I was introduced to Kwaku through a mutual friend. He was here in the States, and the point was that someone had seen his work in Ghana, working with young men and children, and a project that then was actually called the Jinyame Project, but then eventually became the Drumming Up from Poverty Project. And it's really just, he took these young men under his wing after he was forced to provide for his family when his father left. So he learned how to build drums, learned how to play them so that he could demonstrate what his drums sounded like and sell them. And then while he was doing that, children flocked to him. So that was a beautiful story, and when I met him and I told him my story about using the drum the way that I had and with the young women and everything, and it was really symbiotic in terms of our work. And so we started working together, and I finally got a chance to go to Africa, and I couldn't go before. My teacher would have these camps in Guinea, and they were way too expensive because you were staying in a compound the whole time. And Kwaku offered me this opportunity to go to Ghana and be amongst his people in the community, and it was a lot less expensive, and it was more what I wanted because it was on the ground. So, blah, 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 fast forward, we found love, got married, and then we had Kwame, and we had a business. So we started first calling it Drumming Empowerment, which it's still on paper, that's what it's called. And then we had a nonprofit together, which is my nonprofit work with girls and his with boys, Young Women's Drumming Empowerment Project and Drumming Up from Poverty. So those are together. And then we applied for a storefronts project grant just this year and received it. So we have this amazing storefront. It was slated for us to have it for 3 months. We're hoping for more. But our goal is really for all of our projects and all of our work to come together, and for community to be able to have a space to come together as well, to learn, to play drums together, to utilize the space for their own empowerment and the empowerment of their communities. And what's been happening is just large diversity in the space, people coming from all walks of life and all experiences, and conversation and relational-ness going on, which is really what is so beautiful about having it. So that's why I hope that we can keep it, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, the Belly Belly Rhythm Collective, who was performing today. This is sort of like my adult women's arm of the Young Women's Drumming Empowerment Project. There's about 15 or 20 women who are involved, and it's on a bit of a rolling basis. We rehearse every week, and we perform all over. We perform, not just in DC, but we're asked to perform at festivals, and we've even performed at the Birchmere in Virginia. I'm very proud of this group of women. They work really hard. Most of them are my students. Almost all of them have been my students at one point or another. Some of them for as long as 10 or about a decade. Yeah, the longest person who's in the group, a decade. I've known her and been her teacher. So it's a symbiotic relationship that we have with each other. It's an escape from whatever is out there in the world for us to come together and drum together. And then the arrangements that we play on the drums are mine, and it's a wonderful place for me to be able to be creative and put together these arrangements of pieces and have audiences love them, and to have audiences really feel engaged by them, and then audiences to feel awed by the fact that it's all women playing them, which is really non-traditional. So I'm very proud of that group, and it's BELE Rhythm Collective. And Bele is a rhythm that my teacher Mamadi Keita came up with, and I used it because Bele means very important person or big personality. So I like that name. So anyway, that's it. You can reach me at drumlady.com, and the store is handsondrumsdc.com.